Okay, bad news guys. So, I was driving with my dad, we were doing some videos. I wonder where the power steering pump went.
And she says, dun dun dun!
Hi, my name's Mike, and for the last 3.5 years I've been living in a school bus named Navi, traveling the country. Recently I've decided to buy a short bus and start converting that as my new full-time home. Consider following along as I move forward with the build and head out on more adventures. Back on another day on the bus build. Today, we actually had an issue the other day. We took the bus on a drive and we lost the power steering and power, oh my
brakes.
gosh. Yes, we lost the brakes. That we think we had to do with the low reservoir in the power steering pump, but it got us thinking. This bus is gonna be going on a lot of miles and we have it in a driveway in a safe location. So we decided that we're going to be kind of digging into the engine. I know this bus only has about 70,000 miles on it, so I'm not expecting a lot of issues, but it's always better to replace parts when you're in a safe location than replace them on the side of the road. So it's engine day or week, or we'll see how far we go and what we find out. Step one of the day, figure out what's going on here. If you take a look at the engine, there's clearly not much room here. So we're gonna have to kind of get in there and take some pieces off. The idea is I want to get down into there and I want to change the serpentine belt. The serpentine belt doesn't look like it's in great shape, and those are a pretty easy part to replace in terms of like in a driveway once again, but that is a part that if you do it on the side of the road where it breaks, you're just stuck because they're not easy to get to in terms of like roadside fix. So we're gonna do it here, and if we already have that out, and just check a few other parts that, as you can see, are definitely going to be hard to get to if anything happens down the road. So fix it now, drive later. A bucket or something. Oh, I should get a new filter for this too. Hardest thing, which I know you mechanics out there are way better at this, just like knowing the size of like different parts. To guess that like, oh, that's a 3/8 bolt. I'm not that good yet. So we spend a little bit of extra time guessing, but man, I can't wait till I'm at that point where I just like look at bolts and I just know exactly what it is. Nope, still too big. It looks like it's also kind of stripped out a bit. It looks like it's been done a couple times, so, you know, probably, I think we might want to grab a new one just to put a new one on, you know? Why not? It's gonna take me 930 seconds to get this thing off. Nope, still too big.
What?
Yep, that one'll work. Whoever put this thing on last put it like in the worst position to get to. All right, got that guy out.
Yep. Oh, the cleaner looks good.
All right, we got this one guy out. Look how much more space there is in there. When I say space, I mean like there's not. It came out of there. Okay, that one came out of right there.
So that's another trick.
That is a good trick. Put the bolts back in where you took them out of. Then you'll never lose them.
Oh, it's down here. It's all the way down here. Oh, crap. Now that we got that off, we might be able to see what's going on here. Maybe we just got a busted hose.
Maybe. We can see if there's a leak. Forward, forward, forward.
Pouring out fluid.
Really?
Or whatever that is.
We got the bus up on the jacks. We kind of looked at the engine pretty quickly. We're trying to first address this power steering problem. So we've got the pump exposed, and according to the manufacturer specs, what you got to do in this model is raise it off the ground, and then without the engine started, turn the wheels side to side with the reservoir open, and by doing that you're kind of, I guess, cycling the system, and it's going to allow air bubbles to come out, and we can see what's going on. But at least now we have full vision of the entire part of the engine, so we can kind of fully see what's going on, the high pressure and low pressure lines, and we'll just go through the things that we know we can check ourselves, and kind of things that are reasonable for us to go through before we really start getting into this. Yeah. Hopefully it's a quick fix.
This motor, the power steering pump, also controls the brake. So when you lose the power steering pump, not only do you lose power steering, but you also lose your ability to brake. I don't know why they would do something like that. It's kind of two vital systems that you lose at once.
Yeah. We had that happen if someone had to drive it a couple miles. What are you doing here?
Well, done and gooped.
All right, pour it in and see if it works.
Where's this go?
Oh, into that thing under the bottom.
You don't actually need it and something else.
Oh, don't say that. I mean, we could have burned the pump. I wonder where the power steering pump went. So we're stuck in a parking lot, which isn't the worst place to be stuck. Unfortunately though, most of the time I would say like, oh, who really cares? I live in this thing, so it's not a big deal. But I'm not living in this thing yet, so I do kind of care, and I want to get back to my parents' house where I can finish fixing it.
You're upset, but you're also excited because then you get to get your hands dirty and figure out more about Navi Jr.
I'll probably replace a whole bunch of other stuff once I have the front end open.
So right now, we're not sure if it's the booster or the power steering pump, but everything's indicating
The pump.
it's the power steering pump.
All right, stop there. Go for it.
You hear anything leaking?
I don't hear anything leaking. I hear things squeege, like it's a squeege.
Yeah, it's like a squeegee.
Right. All right, we went through some of the tests and stuff. We're still not sold on the pump being bad or the booster or just air being in the lines. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to the manual. We're gonna just start from the beginning like we didn't do anything. Start with the simple stuff. Let's go through the procedure, try to bleed the lines back out, and then give it a test. I mean, that's way easier and a much simpler thing to start doing than to be ripping the pump out or something. Keep it simple, stupid, and let's start with the simple stuff, then move on to the complicated stuff. Good morning, Badge.
No, Crisis Center. Go ahead, sir.
All right, so Badge here is on the vlog now, and I only call Badge when, well, pretty much everything hits the fan and you don't know what to do.
For me to bleed it. This is what I'm gonna tell you the power steering pump screwed. That's when they usually screw up, is on the stop. Because that's when they're under high pressure, right? When it's ordinary pumping, it'll just pump low pressure, right? When you put it on the stop, it forces it to go up to 15 to 1600 psi.
All right, let me ask you this, Badge. Is the pulley pressed on, or is it just bolted on?
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
What?
No. Come on, Chris. Nothing's going to be that easy. This is GM you're talking. It's pressed on.
Oh,
What you do is go to hard.
All right, so Badge gave me pretty much like here's what I would do. But if you want to get Badge's advice, he actually has a YouTube channel, and I'm going to link it in the description. And if you want to talk to Badge, you can talk to him there. But yeah, I'll put the link in the description if you want to check it out. But thank you, Badge, for all your help. He might have saved me a power steering pump. If not, he told me how to do it, which, I mean, either way is like all the information I could possibly ask for. Okay, we did all of our diagnostics. We did everything Badge told us to do and all the insights, and we determined the power steering pump went. So now we have to pull the power steering pump out, replace it, and then we should be good to go. This shroud, luckily, the fan shroud is in two parts, so we pulled the top part off, and then, yeah, now we can actually see what we're going after here. Going after, yeah, that piece right there, so
now we have to loosen the alternator, loosen the serpentine belt, and then we got to pull the pulley to get to the bolts that hold in the power steering pump.
You see how easy that sounded? You see how, like, really, like, that's just... He's shaking his head. It's not that easy. Like we said in the beginning of the video, it's easier to fix in the driveway than the side of the road. So if something's gonna break, this is the place I want it to happen. Don't worry, buddy. We'll make you better. You just keep it up. Keep running strong. You, start running strong. You, thanks for running strong for 3.5 years. You better run strong for 3.5 years. You know, before we go to the store, let's see, you know, if we can get some parts out, you know, whatever. We sure got the part out because my dad just grabbed the pulley with his hand and it fell out. So now we've got this happening. We're just like leaking all the fluid. Either way, the question was, is that part actually bad? The answer is yes. Yes, it snapped right there. Let's go get a new part and a bunch of other parts, and
might as well do the maintenance.
dang. Let's go spend a bunch of money.
Yeah, your money, not my money.
We got the parts, all the parts. All right, so we got like, what, $250 in parts? But, you know, $250 in parts, new pump, which is a known thing to be going bad on the 6.5, all the fuel filters, oil. So, I mean, hey, you know, it's not that bad. Do it in the driveway so you don't gotta do it on the side of the road. Once again, always easier in the driveway. Now we gotta go install it all. All right, we got our oil. We've got our power steering fluid. We've got our filters. We ended up buying a new pulley. The pulley was like 15 or 20 bucks, and since it broke, the shaft is stuck in that pulley, and instead of wasting our time trying to press it out, we just bought a new one for like 15 bucks, so it's gonna save a lot of time. We just gotta get those 3 bolts off, take that thing out, put a new one back in, and Bob's your uncle. I know a lot of you are gonna say this out there who know about Chevys. Why does this engine have a bolt like this long, but it's like tucked up in the engine? And I know I'm not alone out there with this. Like, it'd be impossible to get a tool in there. So I'm just spinning quarter turns, even with the speed ratchet. Ugh. All right, so I don't know if you can see it, but the other one is like right there. So we're gonna have to get in there. Come on, be hand loose. Hand loosen. And we have ourselves
Power steering pump.
Look at that sucker.
And if you look right in there,
that's what broke.
you can see it all busted in there.
Old, new. If you notice, there's a nice little rod right there. It's missing there because it broke off. It is such a good feeling when you finally get the part out. I mean, you spend so much time getting these bolts out, and they probably have never been taken out since the thing was put together, but when you get it out, you just have that moment where you like, just hit this point where you're like, yeah, we're gonna do this. It's time to put this guy in the bus. Can you tell me when? All I gotta do now, I gotta check the position of the stuff, because the last thing I want to do is like tighten these bolts down and like not have everything positioned correctly, and then you start like stripping a thread or something. That would just be bad news bears. And do some checks, then we'll start tightening. Just what I get for buying a minibus, or just a bus. The heck, serpentine belt. When you don't know what size it is, you know what you do?
You get them all.
You get them all. Wait, what size is that? Do you already know?
Yeah, 5/16.
I think it's gotta go like up. Like, I think you're not straight on it.
Okay, out.
That's it from down here?
That's it. Slow. All right, start it up. See what happens.
We got the bus running. I'll show you a little bit about what it is. I still gotta still put the housing on and the cowling, but after all this time, we got it working. We got it working. Thanks, Badge. Thanks, Dad. Thanks, Dad. All right, last job of the night is gonna be putting the fan shroud back on, putting the coolant reservoir back in, making sure everything's connected, testing it, and then this job is done.